Percentages are another key topic that we have to deal with throughout the entirety of our maths career. And these kind of questions here are the sort of reason why. Now this question asks about Georgie having her roof repaired. She's charged an extra 2.5% for late payment and she has to pay a total of £977.85. We have to calculate how much she would have saved had she paid on time. Now this sort of question needs you to realise that she's been charged as 2.5 extra, so the £977.85 includes that 2.5%. So what we've got to do is somehow work back to the original and find the difference. So this goes back to the topic of inverse percentages, i.e. reverse percentages as we sometimes called it. What we have to do is we have to start by figuring out what percent we now have. Well, if we look at this, we know she's been charged an extra 2.5% for late payment. So we know we've got the original 100% and we've been charged extra, so we've added on 2.5%. So we know that now we have the equivalent of 102.5%. That's the percentage we have. Now we know that that then is equal to the £977.85. So if we know 102.5% and we want the original, easiest way to do it is go down to 1% and then take the 100% up and make it the original amount. Now, if we look at this and think how to do it, if I want to go from 102.5 to 1%, I'm going to have to divide the 102.5 by something else. Well, to do that, to get it to 1, I simply divide 102.5 by 102.5. And then to go from the 1% to the 100%, I times that by 100. Now I've done that to this side of the calculation, so what I now have to do is the exact same process to this side. So I take the £977.85 and I divide it by 102.5. I then take my resultant answer from that and I times it by 100 and then I find out the original amount. So if I take the £977.85 and I divide it by 102.5, what I end up getting is £9.54. So 1% is equal to the £9.54. If I then times that by 100 to get the original, I know that originally the charge was going to be £954. So that's the original amount I would have paid. Now if the question just wanted that, I could stop there, I'd be fine. But what it wants is how much she would have saved if she had paid on time. So in order to do that, I now have to find the difference between the two numbers. So what I then say is therefore fine. So I've got £977.85 and I'm going to take away the £954 from that. This will tell me how much she would have saved. I can then say therefore she would have saved the amount that's the difference between the two of them, which in this case is £23.85. Again, when you're communicating answers and things, be very clear. It wants to know how much she saved. Make sure that that's what you're telling them. Make sure you say she would have saved, or the amount she would have saved was this. And also make sure that you include your units. This is money we're working with. It's not measurement in terms of distance, speed or time. This is money, so make sure you include the monetary symbol there, the pound sign, and also make sure you include your point. And remember, for pence and pounds, only 2 decimal places. If you ever get a calculation that goes beyond that, when it comes to it being in relation to money, you have to make sure you round to the 2 decimal places. Money only has that. You have to bear all these in mind in order to be able to work through one of these, but actually it's a fairly generic process. The key thing is that very first step. What percentage do we have now? We can then figure out 1% and the original amount from that.